A key prosecution witness is back on the stand in the trial of Adrian Gonzalez. What jurors were shown Thursday before an abrupt halt in court. And we're adding some spice to your Friday. Some Aggies turning a class project into sauces with a Texas twang. And Valentine's Day is less than a month away now, but not everybody is feeling the love. Coming up, we introduce you to some ambassadors helping heal broken hearts, and it's all for a good cause.
We are expecting an overall warmer forecast into this afternoon, but we are awaiting our next cold front. I'll show you what that does to our weekend forecast coming up. So stay right there because Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus starts right now.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
A key prosecution witness in the Uvalde officer trial will return to the stand this morning after court ended yesterday when a juror left due to an emergency. Sergeant Daniel Coronado, the only witness to testify yesterday, his body camera video shown in court. Good morning, y'all, and happy Friday to you. I'm Dana Dixon. Jesus Martinez is still on assignment. We're excited to have him back soon. Thank you for joining us on air and on CBS 19 Plus. I think you're still going to need to bundle up for a while now, Joel. I know we're warming up a little bit today, but those temperatures taking a dive this weekend.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. We're watching for that next cold front to move through this afternoon, and that will have a big impact on our temperatures into Saturday and even into the first part of Sunday. We'll take a look at those numbers in just a second. But a beautiful sunrise on our Robertson-Roberts cam looking south on Broadway. We have a little bit of traffic there. 50, the recorded temperature in Tyler with a south breeze, 15 miles per hour. That's bringing in some much warmer air and feeling like 50 as well because of the temperatures being so warm. And we do have some low 40s in some parts of the area, with some of us mixing in with 50-degree temperatures. A cold front is on its way, and that's kind of making the temperatures briefly just a little bit warmer. But we'll see that continue to move through into this afternoon, and temperatures will still make a run for the low to mid 60s, and that sun continuing to shine with no clouds into the afternoon. 40s for tomorrow as a result of that cold front. Very cold start to the Sunday with lows in the 20s. We'll talk more about that, and we'll take a look at our next chance of rain coming up in your 7-day forecast.
Thanks, Joel. Disturbing allegations against a former Tyler ISD employee. We have learned that the woman accused of sexually assaulting a 16-year-old boy at a local park has bonded out of jail. According to arrest documents, police found Anahi Ariano in a car parked at a local Tyler park. And the officer noticed two people inside, naked. The teen first told police he was 19. They quickly found out he was 16. Ariano admitted to the sexual misconduct with a minor in the back of the car and has since been fired from Tyler ISD. She worked at Bell Elementary as an educational aide. The district tells us that the safety and well-being of their students is their highest priority. They went on to say, quote, "When the district becomes aware of allegations of this nature, we follow all of the required state and local protocols and cooperate fully with law enforcement consistent with the law," end quote. Ariana is facing a sexual assault charge. Turning now to another East Texas school district, we're hearing from Winsboro ISD following our reporting into allegations that now former district leaders failed to report two separate cases of child abuse and then attempted to cover them up. Now, in the wake of the recent arrest, the district says the situation is frustrating, but they want to reassure the community. In a letter, the district said state law prevents them from discussing these allegations. They go on to say board trustees and district leaders stand committed to sharing the truth if and when the law allows, and they are praying for those involved. Arrest documents allege Superintendent Aaron Nation, former Superintendent David Wilcox, and his wife Ashley failed to report multiple incidents of child abuse involving staff. Investigators say they delayed reporting allegations against a coach and substitute teacher, interfered with the district police chief, and refused to provide requested phone records. Nation also faces a charge of tampering with evidence after allegedly wiping his district-issued phone, while Ashley Wilcox did not report any allegations she was aware of. All three were arrested but have since been released. And right now, high school principal Cody Holloway is serving as acting superintendent. The school board will meet tomorrow to appoint a new district leader, among other legal matters. CBS 19 will be there at the meeting. 7:06 now. This morning, a key witness for the prosecution once again takes the stand after court abruptly ended in the trial for Adrian Gonzalez. Rania Kaur is in Corpus Christi with what we can expect.
The first round of cross-examination had just completed for Sergeant Daniel Coronado when Judge Sid Harrell, after a break, told the court that they would have to end abruptly due to a juror leaving for an emergency. On Thursday,
Jury, my apologies, something's come up that's beyond our control.
An unexpected emergency ended court early. The only witness to take the stand, Sergeant Daniel Coronado.
I noticed that whenever I exited the building, Adrian immediately positioned himself on the east side, on the south side, but the east side of the building, on the corner.
Coronado's body camera video was one of the first released to the public that provided an initial glimpse into police response the day of the Robb Elementary School shooting. Part of that footage shown in court in relation to what jurors were seeing.
Do you see Adrian Gonzalez in that photograph?
Yes, sir.
As prosecution continued to make the argument that Gonzalez's actions put children's lives in jeopardy, defense pressed Coronado, proving otherwise.
Adrian didn't move, right?
Right.
He remained in danger by being in that school.
Yes.
Is that fair? And so did you, right?
Yes.
Prosecution had just begun questioning Coronado after the initial cross-examination when court was unexpectedly adjourned. His testimony will continue at 9 a.m. this morning. We will also find out if that juror is back or whether an alternate will be used for the remainder of this trial. In Corpus Christi, I'm Rania Kaur, sending it back to you.
Thank you for that. And a reminder, we are providing gavel-to-gavel coverage trial on CBS 19 Plus. Reporters from across Texas and our panel of legal experts walking us through the evidence presented in the case with analysis you won't find anywhere else. 7:08, time for your morning headlines, starting with a key hearing expected today in Utah in the case against Tyler Robinson. He is the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Robinson's defense team is asking a judge to remove the entire Utah County Attorney's Office from the case, citing a potential conflict of interest involving an attorney whose daughter was near the shooting scene. Prosecutors say no conflict exists and are fighting the request as the case continues forward. And this morning, a rapidly escalating situation in Minneapolis as federal immigration enforcement operations continue and protests turn increasingly volatile. President Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, which would allow him to deploy troops to help stop the protest. That follows the fatal shooting by an ICE agent, Vernay Good, and another shooting Wednesday when a Venezuelan migrant was shot after allegedly trying to attack and flee federal officers. He and 2 others were arrested. And if you have a Frigidaire mini fridge like this one right here, listen up. Curtis International is expanding its recall of more than 300,000 of them because they've been linked to at least 6 fires with property damage. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the mini fridge's electrical components could short circuit. It's urging owners to unplug and immediately stop using the product, which was sold exclusively by Target. If you have the mini fridge, you can contact Curtis International for that refund. And a heads up to all those Spotify users out there, you will soon be seeing slight change on your bill. The streaming service is raising prices starting next month. The fee for the premium ad-free and student subscription, well, those plans jump by $1. The due on family plans are increasing by $2. It's the first price adjustment Spotify has made since June 2024. All right, time for a check of your traffic, Joel.
Yeah, all in all, not looking too bad as we take a look at I-20. We got 2 hours over to Dallas with an hour and 30 minutes over to Shreveport, so no delays or interruptions on I-20. US 69, same story, 2.5 hours up to Denison with an hour and 30 minutes down south towards Lufkin. Pretty quiet on some of our other routes as well. We have 55 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches. We have 40 from Tyler to Longview. If you're heading from Tyler to Palestine, 55 at this point, and Tyler to Athens is up to 45 minutes. at this time. Now, current visibility is absolutely gorgeous out there. 10 miles of visibility all across the board. No chance of any fog or any sort of reduced visibilities into this morning. We will have lots of sunshine carrying all the way through the day. Notice the wind eventually shifting in from the north. That's that next cold front that will be dropping through later this afternoon. So we'll see temperatures continue to rise into the upper 50s and low 60s, but for this weekend, that's going to be a little bit of a different story. We'll go over that in just a second. But commute forecast, not looking too bad. Green lights all the way through 9 o'clock and into this evening. Sunshine, 63 degrees.
It is 7:11 now. We've got some great news for all of you Aggies out there. A brand new A&M barbecue sauce has hit the market thanks to a group of seniors in the university's Department of Food Science and Technology. 2 sauces have already hit the market, with even more products ready in the works, bringing a Texas twang to your taste buds. Sounds pretty good. Here's Nicole Marino.
It was just kind of a small experiment that eventually grew up to being part of our club, being part of a course even, to help students get hands-on experience.
Dane Hanhe and Marcus Wascom had no idea their hobbies and common skills could lead to producing the very first Texas A&M branded barbecue sauce collection.
We were the first group of students to actually produce these bottles to sell them to the public.
Texas A&M has a pilot-scale food manufacturing plant. That's where Marcus, Dane, and the rest of the Food Science Club bottle their sauces.
Show them what actual processing plant looks like, because a lot of students don't have that ability to go see a manufacturing plant.
The guys say the group has 2 sauces on the market, 2 sauces in the works, and a beverage aimed to be available for purchase by baseball season.
We're trying to make a lemonade with like natural flavors and colors that hopefully looks maroon. And this is like we're calling it Reveille Refresher. The label is on the way.
But like any startup, there have been learning curves.
Our biggest thing was when we were putting all the spices in, they would clump up into the actual hopper and get really stuck in there. So we had to make sure we got them through the actual hopper that goes into the kettle, the cooker.
No matter how much trial and error, Marcus and Dane encourage Aggies of all majors to join in on making history.
I hope to, 20 years from now, come back to campus and still see that they're selling sauces and all the other products.
Yeah, I got to try some of those out. I bet they're good. I mean, they came from Aggie land. They got to be good, right? All right, tariffs, fewer workers, and lower immigration. After the break, an economic expert breaks down the future for the city of Tyler. 7:15 now. Yesterday, we got an update on the economic outlook for the city of Tyler. Dr. Ray Perriman offers his outlook every year, and this time around, he said despite the economic landscape, Tyler's doing pretty well. He says tariffs and immigration are putting pressure on the Texas economy, adding that fewer workers means slower growth, especially in construction, agriculture, healthcare, and hospitality. Despite those challenges, healthcare remains a major driver of economic growth in East Texas.
Tyler has performed a little better than the state as a whole. If you look at the last, since May, the Texas economy, people don't realize this, but the Texas economy has net lost about 10 or 12,000 jobs since May. Tyler's remained very steady. Now you would love to see growth, but in this environment, maintaining that and outperforming the state is pretty impressive.
As Texas energy industry continues to evolve, Dr. Perriman says the outlook remains optimistic and says there's hope for the future. Mortgage rates have hit their lowest point in over 3 years. The average 30-year fixed rate is now 6.06%. Earlier this month, President Trump pushed for big bond purchases to lower rates even further. More homeowners now have rates above 6% compared to fewer people with rates under 3%. This shift means more people might be willing to sell their homes. Experts believe this could ease the current slowdown in the housing market. A popular fundraiser in Anchorage, Alaska is coming back just in time for Valentine's Day. Lauren Maxwell shows us Love Hurts is a playful and wild way to get back at an ex and also raise money for a local nonprofit.
Meet Kulak and Ghost, two ambassador birds at Bird Treatment and Learning Center, standing by to assist when love hurts.
We have 6 ambassador birds ready and waiting to help people who maybe have some lingering feelings from failed relationships.
The concept here is pretty simple. If you've got an ex who's ruffled your feathers, why not turn them into a meal and feed them to a real bird?
Oh yeah, that's good stuff, huh?
For $50, the Bird Rehabilitation Center will feed a symbolic rat to a raptor that you can imagine is your ex. You'll get the video, including close-ups and all. For $100, Bird TLC will name the rat after your ex. You'll get that video to keep, showing a raptor chowing them down.
Keep it private or post it on their social media, share it with friends and family.
If this all seems a little gruesome, you might prefer this.
Ooh, you're very hungry today.
For just $10, a magpie will eat mealworms while stomping on your ex's heart. Bird TLC says the fundraiser has become one of their best.
It was a big deal last year, and we are hoping to repeat that success.
When love hurts, this nonprofit can turn it into a win.
An interesting way to get through that process.
That's an option.
Whatever works, I guess, and no one's getting hurt, right?
Right.
Well, we all have those little indulgences that make life so much sweeter. Maybe it's a perfectly brewed cup of coffee. I do love that. A new book, a pair of shoes you've been eyeing for weeks. Some call it a reward, some call it self-care, but all have that one thing that just makes us smile. So we want to know, what's your personal treat yourself item? Do you have one, Joel?
Just like a little bowl or a cup of like chocolate ice cream with M&Ms on it. That's very simple.
That's all you need?
That's all I need. I like that.
I knew it was going to be something chocolate related.
Yeah.
Mine is definitely chips and salsa.
Oh, nice.
I just love it. It makes everything better. And if I'm going to just be overindulged just a little bit more and treat myself, guacamole and queso.
There you go.
That
sounds pretty good. Oh, yeah.
We got some people who are talking about this. Jesus, he's not here, but he did need to weigh in.
Awesome.
He says a Dr. Pepper, but that's every day. So maybe he's treating himself every day.
There you go.
Nayeli says a muffin top from 7 Brew. Those are really good.
Okay, yeah.
And Diane is going with ice cream in summer, cake in winter.
Oh, there you go.
Here's an interesting thing. I do not like ice cream in the summer. I like it in the winter.
That is interesting because
it melts too quickly in the summer.
That's fair. That is fair.
That's what it is. All right. Hopefully we're not going to run into any traffic out there, but if you do, because I think I went past something.
That's okay. I think it's time for sports.
Let's do that. A local basketball star in the making, a new face joining the Cowboys, and a national sports gambling scandal. All this coming up in sports.
It's time for CBS19 Sports.
Hello and welcome to Sports. I'm Jimmy Sierfos. We're glad you're with us. You know, the rivalry game between Grace and Brook Hill is a pretty big deal, especially in basketball. Both teams are 20-win teams, and they're looking for bragging rights over the East Texas Taps area that they cover. And one Grace kid is just heating up at the right time.
CBS19 Sports Player of the Week, sponsored by East Texas Professional Credit Union.
There's a thief at Grace Community School. He'll take what's yours and cash it in on the other side. His name? Coleman Swaim.
Obviously for Coleman, the sky is the ceiling.
Swaim came late to the party after wrapping up football, but he's made his name known all over the court. He finished last game shooting over 70% from 3 with 9 steals.
I think I've always been a shooter. I think just the work we put in lately, just with the whole team, I think it's definitely taken off this year.
Shooter is one thing to call him, another sophomore. He's been playing in just his second season with Grace, but he had a great teacher to show him the ropes as a freshman, his brother.
I think just going against him since I've been little, kind of learning what it takes to be on varsity, and just watching them since I was in 7th grade. So just kind of knowing what it takes to be a varsity player.
And whatever he told him, it's got his head coach excited for the future.
You know, my background, I came from the #1 3-point shooting team in America.
And he's absolutely loving having a guy put him up like Swaim.
There's nights he hits threes. There's nights he gets 9 steals. He's cool and collected. He loves the moment. He's just one of those guys. He doesn't get rattled, and I love coaching him.
Hey, the first major coach is off the market. John Harbaugh, the longtime coach of the Baltimore Ravens, reportedly will come see the Cowboys a lot more in the future as the Giants are bringing him on board to lead the team in 2026. He will be the 6th coach to serve as either interim or head coach in the last 10 years for the team. Lots of coaching experience, just entered the NFC East. Hey, the Texans fans are probably feeling like this after Nico Collins did not practice again on Thursday ahead of that matchup of the Patriots on Sunday. At least the team's feeling good. They're dancing a little bit, having a good time at practice. Nico has been stuck on that concussion protocol list since falling on his head against the Steelers and hasn't returned to the field since. Christian Kirk stepped up big time in that game, but the offense did struggle to move the ball against the Steelers. But CJ Stroud says the team has what it takes to overcome these injuries.
We're hoping, Nico can play and, be able to play this game. But, if not, we've had this experience before, played a couple games this year without him, sadly. But, these guys, all our guys are talented, and we have a lot of depth in that room. And, I'm the most confidence in everybody in there, to get the job done.
Opposite of those Texans is the Patriots star cornerback Christian Gonzalez, who's also been dealing with a concussion, but he's expected to play this coming Sunday. And more than 39 players from 17 NCAA Division I teams have allegedly been involved in a college basketball point-shaving scheme dating back 2 seasons. 5 people have been described as recruiters who found players to participate in the scheme and offered bribes ranging from $10,000 to $30,000 to intentionally play worse. These recruiters and bettors went on to win millions of dollars. At least 2 of the defendants were also charged in gambling schemes involving the NBA. Hey, down in Houston last night, they hosted the Rockets, and this one was really good for about 3/4 of the ball game. OKC led this one 77-75 going into the 4th quarter. Then the Rockets fell apart. They were outscored 34-16 in the final part of this ball game. Durant led scoring for Houston with 19, but went 0 for 5 from 3. The Rockets dropped this one to the Thunder 111-91. They weren't the only ones active last night, though. The Mavericks were without Cooper Flagg, without Anthony Davis, but clearly did not matter. They got some revenge on the Jazz, who just beat them last week. They take this one 144-122. That's all I got for you. Morning, y'all.
From the underdogs to the rising stars.
We're kicking off a mission to help every dog and cat get their shot at a forever home.
Help us score a win for animals in our community.
Sponsored by Pelche Subaru.
Well, we are about to step away for a moment while we break into our over-the-air broadcast with a news update. We'll be right back here on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Thanks for being with us for this morning news update. Disturbing allegations against a former Tyler ISD employee that we've learned that woman who's accused of sexually assaulting a 16-year-old boy at a local park has bonded out of jail. Now, according to arrest documents, police found Anahi Ariano in a car parked at a local Tyler Park. The officer noticed two people inside naked. Ariano admitted to sexual misconduct with a minor and has since been fired from Tyler ISD. She worked at Bell Elementary as an educational aide. The district tells us that the safety and well-being of their students is their highest priority. They went on to say that, quote, when the district becomes aware of allegations of this nature, we follow all required state and local protocols and cooperate fully with law enforcement. We're hearing from Winsboro ISD following allegations that now former district leaders failed to report two separate cases of child abuse and then attempted to cover them up. The district says the situation is frustrating, but want to reassure the community. In a letter, the district said state law prevents them from discussing these allegations. They go on to say board trustees and district leaders stand committed to sharing the truth if and when the law allows. Arrest documents allege Superintendent Aaron Nation, former Superintendent David Wilcox, and his wife Ashley delayed reporting allegations against a coach and substitute teacher, interfered with the district police chief, and refused to provide requested phone records. Nation also faces a charge of tampering with evidence after allegedly wiping his district-issued phone. The school board will meet tomorrow. CBS19 will be there. And we're just days away from Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and starting now through Monday, several East Texas organizations are hosting events to honor his legacy. Today in Tyler, the Foundry will host a spoken word showcase, while the Longview Community Center is holding a jazz concert. Lots to look forward to. Let's get over to Joel now for an update of your forecast.
Yeah, we are pretty dry, and as a result, of course, combine that with the gusty wind into the afternoon. As a result, we have the risk for fires to be able to spread. Moderate to even high risks for fires are in place for today. They will improve into tomorrow as the winds start to ease up, but we still have those warm and dry conditions that will continue to be in place for the next couple of days here. Upper 50s, low 60s for the afternoon. A cold front will be blowing through the afternoon, and temperatures for Saturday will start in the 30s and will really take a little bit of a dive into Sunday morning. But for the afternoon on Saturday, only making it to a high of around 46 to 48 degrees. Some of us reaching the 50s, most of us in the 40s though. But this is where it gets really cold, in the upper teens to even low 20s in some of our northern parts of the area. All of us will be sub-freezing, so we do have a weather impact alert out for Sunday morning. However, we will be climbing right back into the 50s to near 60 by Sunday afternoon. So here's that 7-day forecast. So this is our last kind of hurrah of that cold air to really push its way through, and then we will be steady in the 50s all the way through next week with our next chance of rain that could be pretty impactful coming into the area on Wednesday.
.30, welcome back to Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. Chaos in Minneapolis. Federal agents clashing with protesters after an ICE agent shoots a Venezuelan man. Coming up, the latest on the crisis. And up next, we have new details on the Coca-Cola fire plant fire, that is, in Lufkin, and what investigators are now saying.
And we're watching our next cold front to drift through the area into this afternoon, although we are looking at a pretty warm day into today. Our next dose of some cooler air will be moving in this afternoon and will affect our weekend temperatures. I'll show you the latest numbers coming up in your forecast later this half hour.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Yo on CBS 19+.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Friday to you. I'm Dana Dixon. Jesus Martinez still on assignment. Thank you so much for joining us on air and on CBS 19+. We have learned more details about the fire at a Coca-Cola plant in Lufkin that happened yesterday morning. Investigators say the fire started on the second floor in a renovated area without electricity. The fire marshal says the investigation into the cause of the fire is still ongoing. We're also learning that the firefighter who was injured will soon return to work. Now over to Kilgore. Several residents there had to be evacuated from an apartment complex due to a fire. According to the Kilgore Fire Department, they were called yesterday to the Lakewood Manor Apartments near Duncan Lake. 2 unoccupied units were involved in the fire, and nearby residents were evacuated while they worked to put out that fire. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. The cause is still under investigation. And in the wake of the second shooting involving an ICE agent, protests continue in Minneapolis. President Trump is threatening to send the U.S. military in, while more demonstrations against the presence of federal immigration agents intensified overnight. CBS News correspondent Jared Hill has the latest.
Another night of intense protests in Minneapolis. Federal agents pinned one man down as they clashed with demonstrators. The latest spike in tensions comes after an ICE agent shot a Venezuelan migrant in the leg earlier this week. President Trump Thursday morning threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act and send the U.S. military into the Twin Cities.
You have local and state leaders who seem to be encouraging violence and all of this madness. And the president's frustrated about it, and so are we.
That would probably lead to more violence.
As Minneapolis' mayor calls for cooler heads.
We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos.
Cell phone video shared by a Minnesota state senator appears to show another version of what happened after Wednesday night's shooting. In the aftermath, a woman calls 911 pleading for help. She says her husband, the Venezuelan migrant, whom authorities say was in the country illegally, was chased by ICE agents before he reached his home and was shot in front of his family. According to the Department of Homeland Security, he and 2 others attacked an agent with a shovel and broom handle, and the agent fired in self-defense. As that investigation and the protests continue, volunteers are stepping in to clean up.
We picked up water bottles, milk cartons, gas canisters, flashbangs.
Helping where they can when that help is needed most. Jared Hill, CBS News.
FBI Director Kash Patel says a person has been arrested in relation to vandalizing a federal vehicle in Minneapolis. The FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the return of property stolen from that car. The U.S. allies in the Middle East are pushing to cool tensions between the U.S. and Iran amid Tehran's violent crackdown on protesters in recent weeks. This comes as President Trump hosted Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado at the White House as part of her push to strengthen ties with the U.S. Machado even gifted the president her Nobel Peace Prize. On social media, the president called it a wonderful gesture of mutual respect. The lunch meeting, which Machado says went very well, came almost 2 weeks after the U.S. captured former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Soon after, President Trump said it would be hard for Machado to lead Venezuela because she lacks respect from its citizens. Trump instead backing Maduro's number 2, the now interim Venezuelan president, Delcy Rodriguez.
They have thus far met all of the demands and requests of the United States. The president likes what he's seeing and will expect that cooperation to continue.
All this comes as the Pentagon released new video of the U.S. military seizing a 6th oil tanker. Several key U.S. allies in the Middle East are engaged in intense diplomacy to prevent a military conflict between the U.S. and Iran. As sources tell CBS News, thousands have been killed in anti-government protests. After almost 2 months of being closed, the Texas African American Museum is reopening its doors to visitors with new events and exhibits on the way as well. The museum was closed during the holidays. As they do every year, volunteers have been working to prepare a new exhibit as they gear up for multiple events focusing on Black History Month and MLK Day. Vice President of Communication, LaTanya Bell, says that while all the preparation is hard, keeping Black history alive is an important part of East Texas history.
We've been on break. We close every year during the same time. We do inventory and go through everything, receive new merchandise. That is what we fought so hard for. And so we want to honor that. We want to continue to fight for that. That's our rights.
Since 2016, the museum has been dedicated to the preservation of African American history. For a list of upcoming events this year, you can visit CBS19.tv. We are just days away from Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and starting now through Monday, several East Texas organizations are hosting events to honor his legacy. MLK Day is observed on the third Monday of January. Today in Tyler, the Foundry will host a spoken word showcase, while the Longview Community Center is holding a jazz concert. Those are just a few of the many celebrations happening across East Texas. We've compiled a full list of events on our website. If you'd like that list and straight to your phone, we can do that. Just text MLK Day to 903-600-2600. It's full speed ahead this weekend as the 2026 Detroit Auto Show is revving up in the Motor City, featuring 40 car brands with models you probably haven't seen on the streets. CBS got a sneak peek at some of the cutting-edge vehicles on display.
The countdown is on for the 2026 Detroit Auto Show. Car enthusiasts rev your engine as this year's setup is top-notch. Let's start with Ford's Bronco RTR, revealed Tuesday night.
This vehicle, as its name says, is truly ready to rock.
The neon green designs and eclectic decals specific to this vehicle to intrigue consumers interested in an off-road lifestyle.
This one's really unique in that we are offering up some high-speed off-road performance capability to go out and handle the toughest of elements.
At GM, take a look at this limited edition Chevy Silverado, part of the automaker's Stars and Steels collection to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. A portion of sales will go to a charity that benefits first responders.
Customers will be able to see special design details. For instance, there's the flag and the hood. You'll see some details on the interior as well. We haven't announced exactly how many for this, but for instance, the Corvette ZR1X that we have over there, there's only going to be 250 of those that we sell.
Steering our way to Stellantis, where the future of electric takes center stage with Jeep Recon.
It is the only trail-rated fully electric vehicle. You can take the doors off with no tools. You can take out the rear quarter glass and the swing gate glass.
Interested in more luxury brands? Ferrari has you covered. And check out this futuristic concept car. Its bold design and cutting-edge innovation highlights the creativity of the Motor City.
You don't see these cars on the street every day. It's really exciting. I mean, we're surrounded by multi-million-dollar vehicles.
An auto show giving a glimpse into what makes Detroit the automotive capital of the world. Alicia Bergio, CBS News, Detroit.
All right, let's take a quick look at your forecast as you head out the door this morning. We are looking at just absolutely clear skies out there, and Roberts Cam shows that. As we take a look south on Broadway, you see the northbound traffic really starting to get going there. 50 degrees, the current temperature in Tyler, dew point 37, which means we are very, very dry. South wind, 15 miles per hour, also making it feel like 50 degrees. As we take a look at those temperatures all across the area, we are looking at highs this afternoon into the upper 50s and low 60s, but for this morning, low 40s and close to the 50-degree mark, actually at the 50-degree mark in Tyler and Mineola, with 48 in Sulphur Springs. And again, we'll watch as those temperatures increase into the low to mid 60s for the afternoon, and we'll have plenty of sunshine to go with as well. Now, your 3-day forecast shows that last little hurrah at some cooler temperatures as that next cold front swings in for this afternoon. So we go from the 60s today, sunshine, then transition into mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures for the night bottoming out in the 30s, and we'll see temperatures in the upper 40s for the afternoon. But this is where it gets really cold on Sunday morning. Temperatures only in the 20s, some of us even in the teens. That's where a weather impact alert comes into play here as that hard freeze settles in. Now we will be settling into the 50s, and we'll also be looking at a next chance for rain. We'll take a look at all the details coming up in your 7-day.
Thanks, Joel. Well, for some dogs and cats, a second chance can start with just a spare bedroom and a little patience. Up next, meet the foster heroes giving abandoned pets a shot at forever homes. Well, for many animals, a foster home can be the difference between surviving and finding a forever home. CBS 19's Robert De La Garza introduces us to one East Texas woman who is opening her home and her heart to cats that need a second chance.
For dogs and cats like these, a second chance could mean everything. And sometimes that starts with a spare bedroom and a little patience.
It's beneficial because they get out of this sanctuary and they get used to being around people. They get used to being around other animals.
Angelica McFarland has been fostering since 2020. Something she says wasn't planned, but a calling.
You know, because a lot of these have been dumped. You know, they have been found in the streets. And if we didn't open up our homes to help them, who knows what would happen to them.
She started with kittens, then graduated to full-grown felines.
Because it takes longer for them to get acclimated to somebody's house, it does take them a little bit longer to know their personalities. It just takes them longer to get adopted.
Now McFarland has become one of SPCA's unofficial Moms of the Decade, fostering dozens of cats.
I don't know. My husband thinks like 20 cats. Okay. I don't know. Okay. I've never kept track. I just know it's...
You tend to lose count, maybe.
Yeah, I lost count, yeah.
But with a little help from the SPCA, we were able to track that number down.
Oh no, she's lost count. It's up to 45.
Before becoming SPCA's executive director, Emily Hegland was already a foster hero.
Animals that come through a foster home are often more successfully placed because they've had that experience. They kind of understand the routines of people, and so it's just an important part of getting them to adoption.
Now Hegland says the need's bigger than ever.
We provide everything that our foster homes need to have these animals in their home. So all the food and the treats and the toys and the bedding, everything that these animals need to thrive, we're going to help provide that for you, and then you provide the home and the love.
They get the love, you get the joy of changing their life.
And it's very rewarding to see them kind of learn that and learn how to become part of a family.
Yeah, it would be rewarding if people would just open up their house.
From a shelter cage to a couch to a forever home, sometimes all it takes is someone willing to open their doors. For CBS 19, I'm Robert De La Garza.
We're going to be sharing stories like that all month long to spotlight the important work of the SPCA of East Texas. Scan the QR code on the right side of your screen there, and every donation will go right back to the nonprofit. And this year, a generous donor is matching donations up to $25,000, helping your support go even further. So grab your pom-poms, cheer on your furry MVPs, and help us paw it forward. All right, trending this morning, if you think your child or dog is taking too long to grow up, be glad they aren't dinosaurs. A new study suggests T-Rex took 40 years to reach their maximum size of about 8 tons. Scientists previously thought the Tyrannosaurus stopped growing by around 25 years old. The new study found previously unseen growth rings that are only visible under polarized light. They also found the dinosaurs grew more in some years than others, suggesting growth rates depended partly on what resources were available at different times. The new finding also adds to the theory that the T-Rex may have actually been part of a group that includes other species or subspecies.
Wow.
That's pretty interesting, I guess.
That's a lot of information for sure. Wow, 35
years of being a kid.
Yeah, there you go. And they say that it's around age 25 or 26 where your brain fully develops.
I think for guys.
For guys, at least.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what a doctor told me the other day. I don't even know.
Interesting.
All right, an 11-year-old credited with uncovering an ancient turtle fossil in Wyoming last fall. Torrin Pope was rock hunting in the southwest part of the state when he uncovered a fossilized turtle dating back nearly 48 million years. The Bureau of Land Management says that all those millions of years ago, the area looked very different. The Greater Green River Basin was much warmer, actually, and surrounded by rivers and streams. Animal life like fish, crocodiles, and turtles thrived in the area. The fossilized turtles' remains were buried there for millions of years. Land management officials say that natural erosion brought those remains to the surface. Pretty cool, but interesting that it was warmer there because now it's pretty cold if you're in Wyoming.
Right, exactly. I mean, it just shows like how the weather has changed over time.
Yeah, it really has.
I mean, it's just so cool to just find like ancient stuff like that, you know?
I wish I could find an ancient diamond.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I remember I found a little fossil of a, because Michigan used to be underwater for a long time, and there was this seashell that got
cool.
Fossilized in a rock, and it was in my backyard.
Wow.
It's pretty sweet.
Impressive. All right, check this out. In Oregon, a group is helping visually impaired athletes hit the slopes. The Northwest Association for the Blind Athletes Adaptive Ski Program has been growing for a decade, giving roughly 30 participants the chance to ski and snowboard at Mount Hood Meadows each week. With instructors, transportation, and lift tickets provided for them, athletes of all ages can join. And as one says, the goal isn't just skill, it's fun.
Wow, that's cool.
I love that they're helping them do that.
Yeah, just give everybody the opportunity to do that, you know?
So good. All right, still ahead, eczema affects millions, but doctors say relief could soon come faster than ever. Up next, we show you a tiny device that may hold the key to quick results. There's a good chance that you or someone you may know suffer from eczema. I know we've got it in our family. It's a skin condition that affects about 10% of Americans. Researchers overseas are fighting back, using a simple device to help speed up relief for patients. CBS's Tina Krass has the story.
Annie Diamond has lived with eczema for 30 years. She developed it in childhood.
I remember the endless broken sleep, the constant infections, but there was also the psychological impact of other children refusing to hold my hand and play with me because it was such a visible condition.
Doctors in Scotland believe they can help her and millions of others with a device that uses a simple buzzer similar to those found in children's toys.
You have one main buzzer in the middle, and this is the one that actually bends and sends those vibrations through the skin.
The 3D printed sensor vibrates on the skin and uses tiny microphones to track how vibrations move through the different layers, revealing whether a treatment is actually improving the skin. Doctors say it could bring much quicker relief for patients.
When a patient is prescribed a cream, instead of waiting 6 or 8 weeks for visual changes to potentially occur on the surface, we should be able to say within 1 or 2 weeks whether our treatment is actually successful.
Eczema is a recurring skin condition that causes inflammation and itching. Atopic dermatitis, the most common type, affects more than 200 million people worldwide.
Anything that can speed up that journey for me would be life-changing.
Doctors say that's the goal, giving patients a faster, reliable read on their skin, one buzz at a time.
And researchers say the device works on all skin tones and is inexpensive to produce, with the buzzer sensor costing just over $1. That's good. All right, who doesn't like to indulge a little bit from time to time? Maybe it's sweets, maybe it's something more savory, or just some really good coffee, or do you like to go shopping for something you really love? All right, we want to know, what's your personal treat yourself item? You said, first of all, you'd go to chocolate ice cream. Anything else that's like, all right, I'm going to need some self-care. What is it today?
I'm just really thinking about sweets right now. Man,
that's all I can think of.
That's all I can really think of right now. Maybe like M&Ms or even like a chocolate shake.
Makes everything better, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The other treat myself item would either be to go like makeup shopping. I love that, or a massage.
Well, if we're talking about activities, I would say like just taking a drive. Like, I'll just take a drive.
Just take a drive.
Yeah.
Not this girl.
Okay.
I'm not taking a drive. Let's see. Tracy says popcorn and alcohol. I don't know about the two together, but okay. Christopher says chocolate cheesecake. Can you get on board with that?
I could get on board with that, yeah.
And Tabitha says crab. I wonder what kind of crab.
Interesting. I've never had crab.
All of it. I have. It's definitely good. Soft shell crab. Oh, so good. All right, well, it is time to get a check of your weather now. Make sure you're listening to Joel, because we do have some big changes in our forecast.
We sure do, yeah. We're tracking our next cold front into this afternoon, so that'll affect our temperatures into this weekend. But for today, overall a warmer day. Temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s. We'll see plenty of sunshine. Notice the wind shift here on future Skycast. That's our next cold front running through the area. And we'll see temperatures drop tonight into the low 30s. We'll see a little bit of cloud cover drift through the area into your Saturday, and temperatures will only make it to the 40s and near 50s. An overall cooler day on Saturday. That'll probably be the coolest day in our 7-day forecast here. But for Sunday morning, this is where things get really cold. We could be as low as the upper teens in some parts of the area, upper 20s and low 30s. I think most of us will be in the upper 20s, as we are going to be very, very cold and very clear overhead. That's perfect conditions for things to cool down. However, into Sunday afternoon, temperatures will rebound into the 50s and will basically stay there for the remainder of the 7-day forecast. We've been very dry, and drought monitor just came out yesterday. We are in areas of severe drought over deep East Texas, and you combine that with the dry weather and the wind gusts into this afternoon behind that cold front between 20 and 25 miles per hour. We got the risk for fires all across the area. As a matter of fact, lots of us in that moderate risk, and some of us in our westernmost parts of the area, Emory, Canton, Athens, and into Anderson County, you are within that high risk for fires to spread, and burn bans. They are still in effect for even areas just in that moderate risk. But I would even suggest, if you are not within any of these burn bans, don't burn anything altogether. All across the area is very dry and will be pretty gusty into this afternoon. Now, we've been talking about how cold it's going to be on Sunday. 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. is a weather impact alert for the hard freeze. People, pets, pipes, and plants will all need to be taken care of. Make sure to bundle up and bring those pets indoors. Now, we are also watching for our next chance of rain, and it could be pretty impactful into Wednesday, so we have a weather impact alert there. So stay tuned for the latest forecast updates.
We'll do it, Joel. All right, we are about to step away for a moment while we break into our over-the-air broadcast. We've got a news update for you. We'll be right back with more here on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Thanks for being with us for this morning news update. We've learned more details about the fire at a Coca-Cola plant in Lufkin that happened yesterday morning. Investigators say the fire started on the second floor in a renovated area without electricity. The fire marshal says the investigation into the cause of the fire is still ongoing. We're also learning that the firefighter who was injured will soon return to work. In Kilgore, several residents had to be evacuated from an apartment complex due to a fire. According to the Kilgore Fire Department, they were called yesterday to the Lakewood Manor apartments near Duncan Lake. 2 unoccupied units were involved in the fire, and nearby residents were evacuated while they worked to put out that fire. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. The cause is still under investigation. For many animals, a foster home can be the difference between surviving and finding a forever home. And one East Texas woman is opening her home and heart to cats that need a second chance. Angelica McFarland has spent years fostering cats for the SPCA of East Texas, giving them a break from the shelter and helping them get ready for their forever homes.
When you foster a cat, it lets you learn about their characteristics and lets you learn a little bit more about how they are and how long it's going to take them to adapt into a home.
And that's primarily what our foster homes do, is they teach these animals how to live with humans, how to be in a home, and it's very rewarding to see them kind of learn that and learn how to become part of a family.
McFarland has helped dozens of cats find homes and says a short stay could help change their life. We'll be sharing stories all month long like this that spotlight the important work of the SPCA of East Texas. Help us paw it forward. Scan the QR code on the right side of your screen. Every donation will go right back to the nonprofit. Now let's get a check of your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at the possibility for fires to be able to spread, unfortunately, into this afternoon as dry weather continues, and also a north wind will be surging in, gusting between 20 and 25 miles per hour. So a lot of us within that moderate risk for fire danger, but some of our western counties in that high risk. So that's something you'll definitely want to make sure to keep in mind into today. Upper 50s and low 60s. This wind shift here is our next cold front that'll be dropping through this afternoon. And then for tonight, we'll see temperatures drop down into the 30s. We'll see a little bit of cloud cover into your Saturday, with temperatures only making it to the upper 40s to near 50. And then this is where things get really cold. Upper teens, low 20s in some parts of the area, upper 20s in others. I think all of us will have sub-freezing temperatures. That's where a weather impact alert has been issued. And then we'll quickly recover into the upper 50s to near 60 for Sunday afternoon, still staying pretty sunny in the process. So weather impact alert for Sunday morning for the hard freeze. MLK Day looking fantastic, 53 degrees there. Our next chance of rain will be moving into the area as we head into Wednesday. Could be pretty impactful. I'm expecting an all-day rain event. So that's where that next weather impact alert comes into play. And then for maybe parts of Thursday, could have a couple showers as well.
News before you go. A key witness for the prosecution in the Uvalde officer trial will once more take the stand this morning after court ended abruptly yesterday after a juror had to leave due to an emergency. The only witness to take the stand was Sergeant Daniel Coronado. His body camera video was one of the first released to the public. Coronado's testimony resumes in about an hour. We will also be finding out if the juror is back or whether an alternate will be used for the remainder of the trial. And we're getting an update on the economic outlook for the city of Tyler. And Dr. Ray Pearman says tariffs and immigration are putting pressure on the Texas economy, adding that fewer workers mean slower growth. But on the positive side of things, he says when it comes to jobs, Tyler's outperforming the state, and the long-term economic foundation is paying off, especially in the health industry. And we're just days away from Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and starting now through Monday, several East Texas organizations are hosting events to honor his legacy. Today in Tyler, the Foundry will host a spoken word showcase, while the Longview Community Center is holding a jazz concert. All right, let's get one last check of our weather here in East Texas. Joel?
Yeah, we have lots of sunshine for today. The winds are right out of the south, so temperatures will be a little bit warmer than yesterday. We'll aim for the low to mid 60s for the afternoon, and then our next cold front will be moving in during the later parts of the afternoon and will really affect our temperatures into Saturday and especially Sunday. Check out the low on Sunday, low 20s, hard freeze likely Sunday morning. By the way, highs on Saturday, very chilly in the upper 40s, but that's where that weather impact alert comes into play Sunday morning, and then we'll eventually settle down into the low 50s. Our temperature roller coaster will be kind of coming to a close, and then we'll watch for our next chance of rain moving in with our next big system on Wednesday. Could be a pretty impactful system. We're going to keep an eye on that, but weather impact alert for Wednesday.
All right, an 11-year-old author from Nashville is already working on her third book. She's only 11.
Wow.
Proving that age, it's just a number when it comes to following your dreams. Meg Berryman, inspired by a writing app at age 9, has published 2 books in her wolf-themed series and is now tackling chapter 4 of her third. She writes, edits, and even manages the business side of publishing. That's impressive, all while keeping her books affordable for kids.
That is so cool.
That is really cool.
Wow.
I have always wanted to write a book, like both something, I don't know, self-helpy, but also something like, just imaginative.
Yeah.
But it seems so daunting, right?
Right. It's such a long, I think the longest I've ever gotten to is maybe like a short story, but maybe not like an entire book.
Entire novel.
That's really impressive.
So impressed
Good
by
job.
her.
That's
Yes,
great.
You're inspiring us.
Yes.
And you're only 11. All right, thanks so much for continuing your day here with us on this Friday. It's Friday, Joel.
We made it.
We made it. For Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus, you can catch the noon show coming up in just a little bit, and keep it here for the latest news weather throughout the day. We hope you have a great morning. We'll see you dark and early on Monday. Have a great weekend.